Pradaxa belongs to a new class of oral blood thinner medications approved for stroke prevention in patients diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, a condition where an irregular heartbeat increases the risk of stroke. Since Pradaxa was fast-tracked for approval in the fall of 2010, there have been an alarming number of internal bleeding side effects reported to the FDA, which has prompted regulators to re-examine the drug's safety profile. Researchers originally thought Pradaxa was safer than other anticoagulant drugs like Coumadin, commonly referred to as warfarin. But recent studies suggest Pradaxa may be even more dangerous because internal bleeding caused by warfarin can be easily reversed with high doses of vitamin K, while there is no antidote for internal bleeding caused by Pradaxa. Therefore, when a patient begins uncontrollably bleeding due to Pradaxa, it may be difficult and oftentimes impossible to stop the bleeding. In many cases, the only option available to reverse the anti-clotting effects is to undergo emergency dialysis. Some patients may be more susceptible to Pradaxa bleeding and hemorrhaging. Patients 75 years or older may have an increased risk for internal bleeding. Taking medications such as aspirin, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or blood thinners may increase your risk of bleeding. Pradaxa is cleared via the kidneys, so patients with impaired renal function may have difficulty removing Pradaxa from their body in a timely manner. As a result, over time, they may retain very high levels of this dose-specific blood thinner in their system. This can lead to severe and uncontrollable bleeding side effects. Patients who have experienced recent and recurring stomach or intestinal bleeding or stomach ulcers may have an increased risk of a serious or even fatal GI bleed. Pradaxa bleeding complications are too often fatal. To date, more than 260 Pradaxa bleeding deaths have been reported worldwide, and several countries are reconsidering the approval of the drug. Death from Pradaxa bleeding may occur if a patient develops an ulcer which starts bleeding and cannot be stopped, suffers trauma resulting in uncontrollable bleeding, begins hemorrhaging due to excessively thin blood, or is unable to undergo emergency surgery due to the lack of a quick reversing agent. While filing a wrongful death or personal injury claim can't reverse an injury or bring a loved one back to life, it can help to provide financial stability and also holds the manufacturer accountable for their inexcusable decision to put profit ahead of patient safety. If you or a loved one experienced internal bleeding complications while taking Pradaxa, contact our law firm for a free, no-obligation consultation with an experienced pharmaceutical product liability attorney. We will answer your questions, explain your legal rights, and evaluate your family's claim.